much work and effort into
And we're here today with Cam Mobile Gaming. It's his first time on YouTube, and we're going for 1,000,000 points in Krayt. Uh, Targeting 1,000,000
Let's get
points
it.
in Krayt.
Yeah, that's the goal for sure. So already ran my Boba Solo, got my 179K. Just newly relic Jedi Knight Revan. So we're running this on difficulty level 1 to see if we can get close to 450K. Probably would settle for anything around 400. I'd be pretty happy with this team. That should get us where we need to be to get to 1,000,000. So let's jump into it.
Yep, let's see what we can do. It's one of those, I don't have all the teams to do these higher scores, but we're in the same guild, we're both officers in there, we try and help as many as we can, which is where I'm gonna spend a couple of hours cutting these videos apart, making them all into separate videos for how to, which if you've got any tips or anything going through, feel free to point them out, and we will see what we can do.
Absolutely. So when I run Jedi Knight Revan, I actually run this team on both accounts. The biggest thing here, you want to make sure you kind of manage those bombs for when he goes under. So I like to have him around 2 or 3. That way, I don't have to worry about them being at 5 when he's underneath and not being able to get him back up. So got him at 3 now. We're good. We'll probably be able to get one more AoE before he swallows somebody, or before he goes under, I should say, because he's going to swallow Zelbar right here. So now we're just going to kind of try to hammer him a little bit, get some damage in while he's slowed down with the swallowed effect. Yeah, there's one more AoE. We'll pass it to Basilisk, and she's next up. One of the big keys with the Jedi Knight Revan team when you're running this is you want to get Jedi Knight Revan as many turns as possible. So when you're passing turn meter around, Jolie or Basilisk, whoever has more turn meter and whoever's going to get Jedi Knight Revan up next is the one that I like to pass it to.
Yeah, it's just giving that little bit of extra speed and a little bit of extra damage can make a huge difference.
100%. All right, so now that he's spit, he's going to go underground, but we're in good shape. Our bombs are already sitting at 2. We'll be fine here. AoE from Revan. It's going to take them all down to 1.
And then whatever you target with them pops them all.
Yep. And I may get... do I try to save those bombs here? I think I'm going to.
There we go. Bombs are saved, so you can use them now to create a load of damage.
Yep. My next AoE is going to detonate all those. We might have an AoE ready. Nope, not from Zelbar, but we will use Jedi Knight Revans when he comes up. We're going to pass it to Jolie since he has more turn meter. He's going to set some new bombs up for us. Run is shaping up pretty good so far. We're getting close to losing mission. So if I can get another turn with Jolie, I might try to heal her up.
I'm just going to turn my
be able to. It's all right though. She's yes. There we go. Pass it to Basila. Yeah, the run's looking really good right now.
Yep. Right, for some reason, my monitor has just decided that it can't see. However, the other screen...
Technology.
Yeah, is the cat's just jumped down and batted the cable that's under the desk, so... Joy of having a cat in the house.
I always had cats growing up. I'm a dog person now, though.
I always had dogs growing up. I've had cats growing up as well. The issue is now being in a wheelchair, being able to walk a dog is a challenge. Don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah.
I love going out with my mates who have dogs, but it is a bit more of a challenge now for me. So a cat is a much easier animal to look after. It's just the litter tray clean once a week.
Low
twice
maintenance.
A week. Yeah.
Low maintenance.
And he was just sat behind me on the cat tree watching you.
He's trying to up his crate scores.
More than likely.
I'm really happy with this run, 442.
Yeah.
In a perfect run, we probably could have got 450, but I already think that's enough for us. That was a really good run. I'm not going to tempt fate and discard it, so I'm going to go ahead and submit that.
Yeah, that was a very
not
nice...
worth it for the 7,000 some change, you know?
Well, you're already at
right.
a good chunk into your, what's it, with 2 of your teams, so...
Yeah, 3 battles left. We've already got 621k. I think this is going to be it. So we do have to drop it down here to get our teams properly set up. And I think you know what time it is. I hope everybody's thirsty because it's time for some Jawa juice.
It's Joe Juice time, and hoping to hell it's not one of those days.
Yeah, so with Jawas, a good run for me is going to be around 170K. An acceptable run, usually I'm good if it's over 150, 160K. I'm happy. I think if we can get 160K today, we can get to the million just because of how much we've upped the
Y-
score with the Jedi Knight Revan team.
Yeah, because with
So
your Jedi Knight Revan before, you were what? I think it was
like
300 and
320 or something like that. Yeah.
so you've added over the 100k, which is what you missed by last time because it was 85 for
And
the
it was
last time.
960,
Yeah.
960,000 last, 962, I believe.
So
So with
all
Jawas, the big key here is you want to stack as many thermal detonators on the dragon as you can, and you don't want to explode him prematurely because the Jawa's offense ramps up the more thermal detonators he has. So that's really one of the big things. Bomb management is huge here. With my Jawa team, the first time a Jawa gets swallowed, you are able to get him back. The second time, you're not going to be able to inflict enough debuffs to bring him back. So this one, we're going to kind of watch here. We're going to try to bring him back the last second. We're going to stick as many thermals as we can on the Krayt Dragon, just in an effort to really ramp that offense up for the Jawas.
it is one of those where you sit there and you think, yeah, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, Jawas are such, it's heavy, heavy RNG with these runs. They can go sideways real quick depending on who the Krayt Dragon swallows or if you lose somebody a little early. So it does probably take a few more tries than you'd like as someone who's trying to get their Krayt Raids done quickly. But it's worth it because it's a real low investment team and you can still get a decent score out of them and help yourself out in that personal track and also help the guild out by putting up some solid numbers here. All right, so we did good with the bombs there. Here's the assist here. Try to get a couple of thermals on there. Great.
You didn't
Get some more
take
bombs planted here in a second.
a lot of these are being evades for you this run. I'm
Yeah,
sat.
as I said, Jawa's super, super RNG dependent. So we're not going to get that character back there. That's unfortunate, but you got to kind of plan for that in your run. But you can get such a wide outcomes of runs with Jawas, even if you are playing it perfectly. This team, if RNG goes bad, could be a 70K run. If RNG goes great, could be a 180K run for me. So I'm someone who likes to play the Krayt Raid. I don't mind trying it a few times. So I'm happy to put in those few extra runs to try to get a better score out of them. But yeah, low investment. They're all gear 7 to 10, somewhere in that range. So good return on investment. If you're looking to bump your crate scores up a little bit, well worth it.
They are a
All
good
right.
little team. The only thing that ever concerned me with them was damage output for stuff like GAC. You
Yeah.
can They
Yeah.
can be
I don't get
annoying.
use from them literally anywhere else. I mean, if you're someone who's maybe if your account's, I'd say, in the 1 to 1.5 mil range, it might not be the best investment for you because you're not going to get use out of them anywhere else. But if you've got a ton of spare resources and you already have these characters start up, and maybe you're sitting at 400K Krayt Raid score, and you want to get past that 500K score for the personal track, it's just such an easy number to hit with them with minimal investment. So I'm happy with the resources that I've put into them, but I understand maybe not everybody wanting to go wild on Jawas right now.
That I can understand because it's especially with how fast Leia came out. I don't think this raid is far off now.
Yeah, yeah,
However,
and that run went sideways for us here, so we're gonna go ahead and restart this.
yeah, 127,000 first run is still not a bad score considering the gear level, but at the same
No, I
time,
mean,
we
yeah,
ne-
for any other faction, if you had gear 7 or 8 characters, that's a real good score. But Jawas, they do so well in crate. I don't know how else to describe it. They do very well in crate.
Every time that I've seen you play Jawas now, it tempts me to do mine, and then I realise no, I'm doing Executor, and then I'm doing. Okay, he's back. He's trying to bite the dangly bit from my trousers. Um, so every time I see him, it's like I want to do him, and then I remember no Executor, Jabber, and now once I'm working on Jabber, anything that's layer is getting done because that kit was just yeah.
Power creep is real.
That kit actually scares me. It makes me think, holy hell, how much damage is there actually going to be from her, especially with people like Drogon and R2 giving all those buffs back to her. It's yeah.
I take solace in the fact that I'm probably not going to see a whole lot of layers. For me in GACs, I'll see a lot of SLKRs. Occasionally, I'll run into JML. I've seen a couple of Rays, or JMK, but I haven't seen too many Jabas, and I know I won't see a whole lot of layers. Just I'm down in Chromium right now, so it's not too bad. When Leviathan came out, was another thing. Like, yeah, it'll be a problem a year or two from now, but
I
not
I
something to be immediately worried about.
I think all of us have got about 6 months before we start seeing layers popping up. With how decent that kit is and how cheap the investment is to get a really, really good GL, I think a lot of people are going to drop farms for it. And I think you're going to see it a lot more in even all the way down in Kyber, not Kyber, Carbonite. I think you're
I
going to.
doubt that, but we'll see.
Uh,
6 months is a real quick turnaround.
it's not too bad though. It's like if you've got JML or if you've got Jabba or if you've already gone for the profundity, you've got a good chunk of the. Oh, that was a bad run.
Yeah, I rerun that.
You've got a good chunk of the investment already done, and it's like, is it?
Well,
Have
let me
G
ask you this question: how many Javas have you run into in GAC?
in GAC two,
Yeah,
and I'm in
two.
Carbonite.
I've run into zero, and I'm in Chromium.
This is the weirdness of GAC that we talk about far too often. Of you can be down in Carbonite. It's like the guy that I've played today that I've already done because I didn't think I could clear it. He is 6 point odd million. He's way bigger than me. He's got 3 GLs. I've cleared him.
How many GLs on defense did he have?
One, which I
Just one.
panicked about. However, my bounty hunter team ate it. So
There you go.
I can't complain. But it's one of those of I was very lucky because my old account is Kyber. I was very used to this account looks nasty. And getting a lot of random calls today, so muted the phone. Don't know who they are, I'm not answering it.
That's a good practice in general.
It's just one of those. There we go. If they do call again, what I'll probably do is I'll just mute myself and then quickly answer the phone. Because
Okay.
if they call twice, I know full well it's important. If they call just
Yeah.
once, yeah, no.
Spam.
Joy,
So
Joy,
this run's feeling a little better.
80 odd thou at this stage. It is decent. It's just before the second dive.
Yep.
You
And we have all four this time, which the last decent run that we had, we lost one there. So we're already in a little bit better shape here. And I'm not going to screw around with the bombs this time. We'll get them back up. So I got greedy last time.
and there you go, other bottom, and that's the crate back up with no damage, which is a bit of a godsend.
Yeah. All right. So from this point out, I think what we're going to try to do is just try to get everything we can out of him. Oh man, that was
But there you go, 143 thou.
yeah, that wasn't bad. We're still going to do better.
Here we go.
I'll take over 160 as long as we get over 160.
What was the scourge hours last time? I can't actually remember.
It was actually, I think it was like 172, 173, something like that.
Yes, because you sneaked it to 172.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we can do it. I know we can do it. I've seen it done.
I've got a cat that's brought all his toys to my feet. And the only reason I can tell that he's doing it is because there's a tinkly ball that I can hear. Which, if you can hear, I know everybody else can, but very much doubt that anybody can hear it.
Yeah, I don't hear anything. So your cat's good. He's got good microphone awareness.
I've got a shotgun mic that's set up quite a narrow cone, so it's pointed straight at my face. So the actual mic that I'm using, it literally, if I move left and right, I go very quiet. I have to stay like in a little bit of an area, and I moved it a bit further back just so that I had a bit of a wider area that I could move around in, because it would mean that I'd have to park the wheelchair in the exact same place every time, and I can't be bothered with that.
Got to be comfortable. That's for sure. Especially when you're running Jawas 10 times.
And that was not the one you wanted to get eaten.
No, it wasn't. This is gonna complicate my run here quite a bit, I think. You never know though. I mean, maybe it'll work out still. It's just as we said at the beginning, it's highly RNG dependent, these Jawas. So
And there you go, you're down again, and this time in a slightly better position. Not by much, but
yeah, see how we do here.
oh, there you go. You got it.
Man, just barely got him back up there.
That was one of those of oh, thank fuck. Yeah, you're doing better than last time. You actually decent health. It's now, can you get over the 150 with him? No.
And then he nukes the whole team. Ugh. Always Jawas. Never fails.
It's always that one that we spend at least 10, 15, 20 minutes on every raid. Just
Yep.
going, come on, boys, do your job.
You know what's one of the things that frustrates me about Jawas too is when you look at the turn order chart on the side, it's
Yeah,
so tough to tell who's next and what their skills are going to be. And sometimes you get stuck with, I don't even know, this one right here that doesn't hit, and you were planning to hit the bomb in the last second, and it screws up your whole run. That's my biggest gripe with Jawas.
It's one of those where it's like you have to be careful about what you're using, but the pictures are so similar.
Yeah.
We've got a visitor back. He's just jumped into his floating hammock.
Man, that guy lives well.
Well, he's got a cat tree with like a hammock thing attached to it, and yeah, he's playing with a piece of fabric and keeps carrying it up, playing with it in his hammock bit, and then he'll chuck it out the side, and you've just seen him jump down. Do you want me to put it up again? There you go. It's in here now. Are you coming to say hello properly? You want? Come on then. You come up. You know? Now you can see. Everybody can see you. This.
Let's
This
try
is.
this. I'm gonna take his stacks down to 0 here and see if that makes a difference. Maybe we can cycle back to another ballista.
You have to be very quick
I
about it.
doubt it. I highly doubt it. Yeah, if I had the speed up there, I would say maybe, but no, we didn't get to it. Oh well.
There you go then. Up. He wants into his hammock. So
All right, I'm gonna do something a little different here. So I think these bombs are in a place where I don't think I'll get to them. So I am gonna use the AOE to detonate the thermal detonators to bring him back up here. Thermals do extra damage when he's underground as well, so this may do it. Or at least with the bombs, it'll definitely do it.
there you go. You got him up at least.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people don't really get is getting him up takes a lot less damage for you, and you survived it this time.
Yeah. Not well though.
No,
Yeah, that's a wipe.
now I bet you wish you'd taken the 150.
I don't even think I've gotten to 150. I think the highest I've had was 143,
Ah, yeah,
and
143.
I don't want to put the million in jeopardy today. We're getting it.
We're getting it.
We are getting it today.
Well, see how this goes. Use this one as the do we do another team, get the other team up, because then that'll tell us if we can get away with like the 120, 130 from the Jawas.
Yeah, that's probably a good strategy so that we're not here all day. I do have a meeting in about 40 minutes, so
Because if you only end up needing like 80k from the Jawas, you'll be kicking yourself right now.
for doing so many Jawa runs. Yeah.
But it is one of those, it's the learning curve on the raid is incredible. And it's like, I know that my teams are nowhere near good enough. For God's sake, most of my teams I use are like gear 9. They're not amazingly well built. I'm not on my Jabba section of my farm yet because I've moved to go for Executor. And it's like, loads of people don't understand that you might have to do 10, 15 runs, you might have to do 1 or 2 runs, you might have to do the same fight 15, 16 times just to get the score you want. And that's even
I think
with.
it's important that you set a target for where you're trying to be score wise. And if my target was 500K, obviously I don't have to run as many times. But for me, like I'm somebody I like to min max, and I want to get as much out of that personal track as I can, and just I want to flex in the guild a little bit. I want to have the million next to my name. That's something that's important to me. So
It's like, for me, in the last 3, I've added 55,000 in the last 3. before that is when I added Bobber that suddenly added 100k to my score.
I'll tell you, it's not like once you learn the mechanics of the raid, it's not as intimidating as it seems. I mean, the mechanics are the biggest thing in this raid. So getting that down will really help your scores immensely.
It's it is a big part of it is the mechanics to it and knowing when to do certain things, when not to do certain things. Is stuff like blowing the um, thermal detonators at the right time because it's
Which I
like
might try here because I don't think I'm going to get another turn. I think he's going to wipe us. Let's
yeah
just see what happens.
he is gonna wipe.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah. All right, we're going to discard and try
yeah.
a different team, and then come back to Jaws later and hope that we only need 100K. So next up, well, we run a little BAM scoundrel team. So my strategy with these teams, I like to spread out my hot cartel characters a little bit. Because I like to have characters that can explode the bombs for extra damage. So I know I have 3 runs. I know one of them is going to be Jawas. So I have to use 10 characters here. Um, I'll run Karth with Canderous, Greedo, Juhani, and Embo, and then I'll keep these guys together. I do have the Zeta. I have both of the Zetas on BAM, including his lead, so that should give us a little bit of a turn meter train going. And we've got a couple of hot cartel characters here. Django and Mando really are going to be there just to kind of plant bombs and use the ballista. BAM,
So
we actually do get some decent damage out of his whistling birds when we get those loaded up. And then you have Bausch and Django who do AoEs, so we can get that number up pretty good usually.
it is good how like the very first time I got layered to 5 stars was only not this one, the one before, and you can effectively use her as another 176 thou if you were really that desperate to get her to relic 8. In theory, you could use her AoE as long as you don't get stunned.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's a really good character in this raid, even at low gear though too. So if you've got her at 5 stars, I'd say it's worth taking her up to like gear 7, 8, just to get that AoE on those bombs. Throw her in any team, and she helps out a lot.
Well, mine is gear 9 at the moment, one piece away from going to gear 10. However, it's Cairo and I'm on
Yep.
Executor. You are not getting Cairo right here, right now.
Not today, Boosh.
It's like I was talking to a friend last night whilst we were watching Scribble do well his get one of
Galactic
his
Challenge.
no going after GL Layer and
Oh,
it's
okay.
when I put in the chat, oh my god, the stage 4 is so hard, and now they've admitted it's broken. That's great, but we were sat there going, we don't have an answer. And like we were chatting in their chat and we were chatting like this to each other anyway, and we're there and we just went, it's 1 a.m. Well, coming up to midnight to 1 a.m. They've given up. And then a minute after they said, right, we're giving up, is when the announcement came out saying it's broken.
Go figure. CG didn't test something.
Now, what they've said is this wasn't this hard in testing, but it's whether in testing they've accidentally left true god mods on. If they've done that, yeah, it's gonna be seriously hard for us lot because we're never gonna have that level of mod. But yeah, it's one of those where you sit there now and you just go, okay, it's. I'm hoping that they do fix it today so that more people can unlock it because I want to see how hard it is meant to have been to unlock more for that lovely moment of, hmm, after Jabba, I wonder where I'm going.
Yeah, Leia definitely is tempting. I I'm still planning to do JML as my first GL to pair with Jedi Knight Cal. As far as after that, it's a possibility.
Well,
Um,
this is the thing. You've got JML, Jabba, Leia, and Profundity that all share huge chunks of each other. So it's like
I'm
you,
still considering what the next ship will be because they do a ship just about every year,
yeah.
and I'm probably planning just based off of where my account is on skipping Profundity and Leviathan, and then being ready for the next one, just off of how long it takes to farm things and kind of what my plans are in the short term. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at. I would love to see a light side ship just so that to have something to go. I'll have executor for dark side and then something for light side for like territory battles and stuff. Um, that was a good run for that team, I think. Good
Yeah, that's just
with that.
about normal for your team on that one.
Yeah.
And at the
So I
moment,
need about 214,000,
yeah,
and I've got 2 runs to do it. So I'll tell you what, we're going to save Jawas for last.
yeah, save the
We'll
worst
run the
team
Karth
for
team now. Let's not go call them the worst team right now. They're not that bad.
like worst
They're
gear
good. They're good and
wise.
great. Yeah, this team's more of just kind of a hodgepodge. I the and this is the team that I probably play around with the most as far as like who's on this one as well. So it's gotten as high as about 130K for me, and that could be with some different members swapped in and out. But I've got 2 cartel members here. I'd like to think we can get at least 100, or at least get close to 100, which would put us in good shape for Jawas. If we can get to 140K, we would easily cross a million. So
So
let's see what we can do. I'll probably settle. We need a 215. If I can get 90,000 or 80,000, I'm good with that.
I'd say 100,000 with these just guarantees it.
Yeah. So my goal with this team, with Greedo and Embo, is to explode the bombs. Obviously, um, Candyman, I like to stack up those damage over times because those help out a lot with the overall damage number. And Jahani is really just there to get eaten.
Yeah, get eaten and
That's
eventually
her
not
her
be
sole
recovered.
purpose on this team. Yep.
So for those that can see my camera, you can see that the cat is jumping all the way up, getting to the top, battering his little tinkle ball at the top, and then jumping all the way down. And he's just going crazy. So I have a crazy kitten that's watching Krayt in a weird and wonderful way. So this is the joy of having a cat in the house when you play PC games and everything else that they just get involved.
We got to get your cat in the guild somehow. What does he do for? What's his crate score?
um, does it involve chicken? That is a bit of a in-house joke between me and a few mates. He works at a butcher's. I order all my meat for the month from him at the start of the month. He drops it off, and every single time he brings a spare diced up chicken breast and pops it straight in his bowl. And it's just like,
There you go.
you spoil my cat. That's my job.
Alrighty.
This is going to be a bit of a awkward run.
You know, we'll see.
It's when you
Yeah. I don't want to put that much on my Jawas. Like I said, I think if we can get to 80K with these guys, I think we'll be all right.
so we have got
So if I get to 80K with these guys, that'll just leave me to have to do 130K with Jawas, which obviously we know we can do.
so it was what
14,000.
214,000. So I'm keeping track of it so that we can say how easy it's going to make it on the Jawas.
Yeah. I'd love to do just one more Jawa run after this. That would be ideal. Not 10 more.
Right, if you can get it's around 94,000 you need, and that'll leave
That's
100
doable.
and that'll leave 120k for the Jawas.
Which I'm actually comfortable probably doing a little bit more with the Jawas than that. So if we can get these guys to 80K, I'll be happy.
It's one of those where you do have to think a little bit ahead about which teams you can get these good scores from, and it's like even just getting just the bare minimum is quite a decent amount, especially with like trash teams. Is the easy way of
Yeah.
putting it.
Yeah, I mean there's so many characters in the Krayt Raid, like even like this team that I'm running here, like you have Karth and Canderous and Juhani. Like you want to have a Darth Revan on your roster at some point. It's a great character, it's a great team. If you're not facing a lot of GLs and GAC, it's a hard team to counter. Um, you need to go fast to be the Darth Revan. It's going to get holds for you. It's a farm that's worth doing anyway. And the bonus is you get to do some Krayt Raid with the Rex for it. So
And this is the thing. It's like, yeah, you've got Krayt Raid, you've got Darth Revan, you've got normal Jedi Knight Revan, which you can again use in Krayt. The teams are really, really good, and it's like you get that one chance to use something. It's like you really, really should go for it.
yeah, and we are getting into, I'll say, the end game of Krayt Raid at this point. But the next raid coming up too, there's a lot of great characters, and if you're not planning now, you really you're going to miss another opportunity. If you're somebody who slept on Krayt Raid, you didn't maximize your personal track rewards. I hope you saw what you missed out on, and that you're planning for the next one because the raid, these rewards, these Mark II, Mark III rewards are just so critical to building a strong account
It's
that
like
you can't pass up the opportunity to get those rewards in your account. You're going to relic characters quicker. You're going to unlock those formerly get one characters that were so hard to get, your Wampas,